All right. Aloha, my friends, and welcome to the Multifamily Mindset podcast. Today, I have Donato Callahan, and my name's Tyler Deveraux, by the way. And man, I'm pumped to have Donato on the podcast today. Donato has come through our program, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, just about.
Year and a half ago. And his story is awesome. He's also a freaking young killer. You're how old?
24.
24. And for those of you not watching on YouTube and listening on the podcast, you're going to be blown away that this dude, he looks 24, but when you hear him talk, he does not come off as a 24-year-old man. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm pumped to chat with him. So, Donato, let's dive into just a little bit of the journey, okay? What you did before you met MFM, how you met MFM. We kind of just go from there.
Yeah, so the whole thing really started in this chapter around 2021. I was starting to get interested in real estate investing. And when I was a senior in college, I launched a wholesaling company.
Okay.
That crashed and burned fast. It did not work out. And the whole thing taught me that if I'm gonna get into real estate, I wanna own something. That's where the really long-term benefits come into play. Yep. So I was shutting that business down, and I was keeping in touch with a real estate agent because I knew that when I graduated, I was gonna go move to St. Louis, Missouri. Because at that point in time, I lined up a job working with the Department of Defense as a geospatial analyst.
A geospatial analyst.
Yes.
What is that?
Basically, it's satellites and mapping of the Earth to answer policy questions. So where are conflicts happening? Which areas have the most need for humanitarian issues? And being able to take a picture of something, see what's on the ground, and tell someone who's going to go take action, here's what's happening.
Cool. That's awesome.
It was really cool. You know, I get to work with people from across the world, all the IC agencies you've heard of, all those three-letter agencies been able to work with. I've met a lot of great people there. And so I knew as a senior in college, I was graduating, I was gonna move to St. Louis, and I was gonna work there. So I started looking about how should people get started in real estate?
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to said, you gotta get a multifamily building, live in one unit, and rent out the other ones. And it kept happening over and over again. So I said, there's clearly some merit to this.
Yeah.
So the morning of my 22nd birthday, after looking at 65 deals, I rolled out of bed, had a chocolate chip muffin, went to the bank, and I closed on my first property, was a 4-unit building the day I turned 22.
Hey, that's awesome, dude. I didn't know this, man.
Oh yeah, it's been awesome. Been able to live in there, and over the course of this last 2 years, I've renovated each of the units, and I'm finishing up actually as we speak right now. And it should cash flow a little over $2,500 a month for my first deal.
How did you buy it?
I bought that on an FHA 3.5% down loan.
Okay, dude. And what did you pick it up for? Where was that again?
In St. Louis, Missouri.
So what did you pick it up for?
I picked it up for $270 for 4 units.
Incredible.
When I got it, it was being rented for like $500 a month for a 1,200 square foot 2-bed apartment. I have another one leased out right now for $1,200.
Okay, that's awesome. So you made some good improvements then.
It made some good improvements on it. It's
nice.
been a great journey. And so I closed that property in the 22nd birthday. I moved to St. Louis, and around that time, my old landlord in college was getting into multifamily. And said, hey, Donato, know you do real estate. You've done all these things. Let's try this out. And I'm going to go join this program called MFM. Are you interested in doing it with me? I said, yeah, let's go check it out. Let's try. So I was in St. Louis. I bought my first property, starting my first week of work, starting with Multifamily Mindset in the program.
Your first week of work.
Starting it all together. Then also, I launched my software companies, we'll talk a little bit later, all in that same period of time.
Jeez, bro.
So I signed up for a lot coming right out of college.
Yes.
But that's how I got from finishing up school all the way through right up until starting with the multifamily journey.
Dude, that's awesome. So you went to, did you go to the trainings? I can't remember if you came in after they had already went.
I came in after the trainings had already went. I was all through the educational, the online, the path.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. So you came in mentorship side, going through the path and building other things while starting at this other job.
Yes.
What was the biggest challenge that you experienced during that time?
Oh, sleep. Sleep. Oh man. A common day when we were getting started was I'd be at my desk at about between 6 and 7 in the morning. I would work until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. And by the time I get to my phone, because we can't have our phones in government buildings, they're all locked away in a lockbox. I can't be answering that. Get out of work, 30 missed text messages, 5 missed calls, group chats going crazy, drive home, and then work again from about 3:30 to about 11:30 at night.
On the real estate business?
On multifamily businesses and real estate businesses, yeah. And I did that for a year and a half.
Jeez. And now, so fast forward a little bit, we'll come back.
Yeah.
You just left that job, correct?
I did. As of 3 weeks ago, I like to say I retired from the Department of Defense about 3 weeks ago.
That's awesome, bro. It's a huge deal, man.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And now it's like, wow, only a 12-hour day. This is great.
That's awesome, man. So let's backtrack a little bit. So you start going through the training, you're freaking putting in all the work. Tell me about your first deal, how you've met your partners for those deals. Let's kind of get into that side.
Yeah, so when we were first getting started, the first thing we had to create was a funnel or a pipeline, because we had people who were really good at going to talk to brokers and finding deals, then folks who were good at the underwriting, folks who were interested in the capital raising. And so one of the first things I did was create a funnel for us to work through. This person, you're going to find the deals, you're going to put them in this folder. Then this person's going to take those deals and come to here and do the numbers on them. Then they're going to go here, and if we have any questions, we'll ask them, and on and on and on.
Awesome.
So we used that funnel to look at about 96 deals in our first 3 months, going through, perfecting that system, and we got really efficient being able to work a deal through.
Yeah.
It was during that time that we would find deals that looked really good, and we'd say, great, we want to put an offer in, and we talk to a sponsor, and they'd say, okay, it looks interesting, let's do some more work on it. Or they'd say, we're not really interested in those deals right now, try again.
Yeah.
And that was the time that we saw a lot of students potentially going the other direction, saying, oh, there's no opportunities out there. And so instead of doing that, we just kept looking at deals, and we kept finding potential opportunities, going back to the same sponsors and saying, okay, you told us last time you only like deals that fit this criteria. Well, we narrowed our search to only what you like. Here's an opportunity we think matches your criteria. And we did it enough times they realized that we're not going anywhere.
Yep.
And so around the December timeframe of 2021, we got connected with the Parishes, who have been an absolute blessing in my life.
Yeah.
The whole family, they've been able to help and really expand my horizons multifamily. I know you know them, done a lot of work with them. They're fantastic.
Love them. Same thing with us, dude. They're great. Greg, Lisa, they're amazing people, man.
Adam and Eric, my guys, I love them so much. And we started showing a deal with them. And we have a meeting. They say, that's not the deal for us. Your finite criteria, do it again, do it again, do it again. So we finally found one around February of 2022. We brought them the deal, met their criteria, and we had proven to them that we weren't going to stop when it got hard.
Yeah.
More importantly, it did get hard. They saw it get hard, and we got to keep moving forward through that difficult period where we show that we're not going to back down when the going gets tough.
Yep.
Once we got to that point, they liked the deal that we were working on, and we were able to put an offer in with them. And by leveraging their amazing experience, we got it under contract.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Let's talk about that deal. How many units? Where's it at?
That deal is 172 units that we picked up for $15,500 in Waco, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing deal. And I can remember so many awesome things about it. It's awesome.
I love it, man. We're partners on that deal as well.
Absolutely.
We came in on that deal, and that was fun, man. I remember when you guys won the deal. I don't know if you were on this phone call, but Ryan just happened to be in my office, and I don't think it was a FaceTime. I think it was on speakerphone. And I think we were telling you guys that we won the deal. And you guys went freaking
We're crazy.
Gangbusters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was on that. Yes, I do. Because before you guys got on the call, Lisa and Adam came on to say, oh, well, better luck next time. And they told us that we didn't get the deal.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Oh, yeah. They were like, oh, we tried really hard. They pushed back really fast. Like we tried all these things. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, we got the deal. And I remember all of us was freaking out. As after all that hard work, when you really don't see that light at the end of the tunnel and you're thinking, there's got to be a diamond here buried somewhere. I just got to keep hitting that pickaxe and find it. That moment was such a revelation of this works.
Yeah.
And it's doable. I had no idea what real estate was a year ago. Now I'm doing this big deal.
Yeah.
It can be done. It is being done. And it was this massive revelation for us.
172 units, man. Waco, Texas. What do you think makes you different? Because you mentioned that there's people that were feeling like there wasn't any opportunity. And so then they were just getting frustrated and falling off. What makes you different than those people who quit?
Discipline. That is undoubtedly the number one thing that can differentiate someone who stops the race halfway through and someone who runs through that finish line. It is the discipline of knowing that there is a tried and true method here as showcased by the path, that when we take these steps and we keep our heads above water and we're asking the right questions, fruit will be born by this whole process.
Yeah.
And so continuing to show up, have those weekly Zoom calls. And to be honest, when we have our hearts broken by losing a deal, the team took a week or two off. And we got to just recollect ourselves, remember why we're doing this whole thing, and then come back.
Yeah.
There was moments where we broke and we had to stop and bring ourselves back together to keep the motivation high. But throughout the whole time, he never lost the discipline to keep checking off those days on the calendar as he moved forward toward the future.
How did you learn? I love that answer, by the way. That answer is, I could not agree more. It is. It's that consistent effort. People will do sprints, but this is a fucking marathon, man.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to continue to put one foot in front of the other and know and have the discipline to do that and know that there will be a finish line. So my question is, how have you created, you're 24, man.
Yes.
How have you created that discipline? Or is that like, do you believe that's a mindset? Do you believe those things that you've done to help you create it?
Yeah, so I've always been able to have, like, if I focus on one thing that's really important to me, I'm able to work at it really quickly and work on it for a long period of time. But that has shifted. So when I was a kid, it was all about grades in school. And all I cared about was doing grades and trying to prove that I, was someone that is capable of doing great things.
Yeah.
And then that would shift to another thing and then another thing as I continued through my journey. And so as we've gone forward through discipline, the question that I'll ask myself is, what's the alternative? If I don't do this, if you don't study for that exam, or in this case, if you don't put the work in for this deal, what are you going to do? And the question typically, that answer becomes, well, nothing's going to change. And I remember my mom always used to tell me this when I was a kid, right? That the pain of change has to be less than the pain of staying the same. And when you
Say that again.
When the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same, progress happens. And you make the right choices. And so when I looked at what I was doing in my life, and I'm working with people at the Department of Defense who were there for 55 years, and way too many times we wish them off to retirement, and then 6 months later we get an email saying they passed away. Every week at my job, they would send out an email if someone on our team had passed away. 24 years of service, 36 years of service, young mother of two, taken before her time. And it was a smack in the face every single time to say, this is what happens if I don't change. Even though I don't have kids yet and I'm not married, I know I want to be.
Yeah.
And so I've always tried to remind myself that even though I may not have those things now that I want, I know that I want them. So that when I get them, I want to be able to say yes to them unapologetically. If my son or daughter comes up and says, Dad, I want to go to the zoo today, no problem. Clear the schedule. No meetings. We're going to the zoo. Right? If my wife wants to say, hey, I haven't seen you a lot recently. Let's go on a date. There's the two of us. I can say yes and cancel my plans. I'm not beholden to any other people on what I want to be able to do with the people, places, and hobbies that mean the most to me. And so when I think about the absolute pain it would have on my own soul to have to say no to those things because I didn't take the preparatory steps to prepare for those things I know I want, that crushes me.
Yeah.
That I could have made a change and had a better life for not just myself, but the people around me, if I had cared enough to prepare for when I was younger.
Bro.
So that's what I'm doing now is, can I prepare for this now so that in a few years, I'm just absolutely grateful that I have the life that I do.
Bro, what you just said, for everyone listening and watching on YouTube, whatever, you need to go back, rewind, and re-listen, because I believe it's one of the biggest hacks to success, which is magnifying the future, but truly seeing, like, there's this book called Be Your Future Self Now or something like that. And it really talks about viewing yourself, your future self.
Yes.
Dude, as a real version, like a real person, because it's obviously a real person. And then when you do that, man, you realize that every decision you're making right now is either helping that person or hurting that future person.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, is future Donato looking at his family or that trip he really wants to take, that event he really wants to attend, and looking at a timesheet that he has to put hours into and going, guess I can't.
Yep.
Or is he smiling a massive smile, looking out the window saying, I can catch a flight if I can get there in 2 hours, booking that ticket, and he's able to walk into that whatever opportunity it is with an amazing sense of accomplishment that there is nothing besides his own mind that's going to stop him from achieving the life he wants to achieve.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Thanks,
I'm serious.
man.
Like,
I appreciate that.
I'm serious. It's awesome. I love hearing, like, do you visualize, like, do you like visualize how you want those things to look like? And like, do you do that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
I can tell you do, because you speak about it with clarity. Like, I can catch it in 2 hours.
Yep.
Right? Like,
I can close my eyes and I can see with perfect certainty Donato waking up and the life that I have and what I'm able to say yes to and say no to. I can see the house that I want to live in, ideally somewhere out west. I've got some pine trees out there, ideally a nice 6 o'clock sunset, nice mountain range in the back, and I'm able to whip up my grandma's chili recipe, my grandpa's sourdough, and I'm able to have a family dinner, and absolutely nothing in my world can take me away from that moment.
Sick.
And I don't have that yet, but it's such a core belief that I'm going to have it, and I'm going to be able to say yes to it when it comes, that it gets me excited to work that 12-hour day. Like,
that's key.
Let's make it happen. What's 12 hours right now when I have an eternity in the life that I'm building for myself?
Yes.
It's a no-brainer.
Bro, that's a mindset. And that is a key thing. It's like sacrificing now for a future good, you know? And I believe that is also a hack. And it's the same thing with magnifying the future. It's like, dude, magnify the future, and take the right steps now, right?
Absolutely.
To make sure the future's magnified. And the work, like, I like to work hard, bro. Like
that can be a problem sometimes as
100%.
well. Because you love to work hard.
Because you know what you're building.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I do have the family. I do have those things. And so for me, and I have achieved those future versions that I once dreamed of, you know? So for me, it's this reminder of there's always this next step, always this next level.
Yes.
But it's this balance of, but remember, right? Like, this is why you're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm really fortunate in my other company, Bright Investor, my co-founder. Yeah. He has a beautiful wife and an amazing baby girl that he just welcomed about 2 months ago.
Hey, awesome.
And he is an accountability partner for me.
Yep.
And he's always checking in because we use the EOS model from Traction, how we use in our company. But he's always checking in with me to say, you know, we're doing this amazing thing over here. We'll talk about it later, right? But why are we doing it? You know, it's so we can spend more time with our future kids, future wife, or his current wife and current kid. We always are reassessing, why is it that we're doing this? How can we build a company and a business that serves us instead of us serving it in the long term? And so I have to really point out that having an accountability partner that keeps in mind their core being why it is that we're doing this has honestly been instrumental to me to not always go off that cliff of working too hard. But he's there to reel me back in and say, remember, this is why we're doing this. And that has been a massive benefit to our success so far. Yeah,
bro, it's so good too, man, because it's usually the opposite. It's usually the opposite. You need an accountability partner to keep you working.
Oh no, I don't know if that's not the problem I have.
No, me neither.
Absolutely.
Me neither. I would say it's a problem lots of people have though.
Yeah, which is, it is a little confusing for me, you know, because like you said, we can see what we're building so clearly. The palace is right there. All I need is a stone.
Yeah,
we're carving it every day. And so the accountability that we need is to be able to have someone just pull us back a little bit and, you know, don't walk too far into the oven. You know, we're cooking just fine. We're going to get there. Yeah. Whereas when other folks have those issues of, I need someone to push me, some of the questions I ask those folks are, well, why is it that you're doing this?
Yeah.
And, you know, what is it that you are trying to, you know, stop having to do in your life and what you're trying to start doing?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll ask people those questions. And when you get down to the real epicenter of why they're doing something, like we talked about earlier, the pain of change is still less than the pain of staying the same. Like it's still, the pain of change is still more than staying the same. Like they haven't hit that point in their life where what they're doing is having enough of negative consequences to what they really want to be doing to have that motivation.
You created that, bro. Because like, even though you saw the future state of, you know, people retiring, passing away, you also created the narrative to be like, hey, that could be me, where other people are almost blind to it. Like, no, that's not going to be me. I'm the same way, where it's like, I promise you, bro, I do not go into a restaurant. Like we went to a restaurant today.
Yeah.
And ate lunch before we did this. I used to wait tables and I hated that job. And I'll tell you, when I go into a restaurant, every single time I go into a restaurant to this day, I'm like, that could be me. That could be me tomorrow. This is like literally the verbiage that I tell myself. Like that could be me tomorrow if I don't like do the right things today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I think about it like that will be me unless I take action.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's not like, oh, that's an option for like something out there. It's like, if I don't do something else, I'm going to have to do this.
Yes.
Like this is going to happen. And if you do not take the action, you are looking at your future. Yep. And you got to be okay with that future, or you got to get your butt in gear and start changing it.
So that's what I love. It's the vision of the good and the bad, and you have to figure out what you visualize to keep you going in the moment. And I believe it's both. You need both positive and negative reinforcements to keep you moving down the trail the way that you should be.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to circle back. So your first deal, 172 units.
Yes.
And then I want to talk about what you do on the software side because, and how that started. Because I think it's amazing. And we'll talk obviously how much I think it's amazing, but how did that all start?
Yeah. So when I was getting started with the Paris's, actually, we were learning multifamily. One of the best ways you can help get a foot in that industry is by finding people who have a problem, asking what that problem is, and then taking care of it. And so a big problem that we were running into as I spoke to them was we have so many deals in all these different places. It's really a lot of man hours for us to have to go analyze these deals and figure out if we even like that area, because they wanted to look at the area before they even looked at a deal. Because if they don't like the area, well, it doesn't matter if it's a great deal. I really don't like the direction of the market. And so I'd say, hey, I can do that. And so I would go out on a Saturday and Sunday and spend legitimately 6 to 8 hours at a coffee shop. Got like 3 chai lattes there. And I'm going to dozens of different websites, trying to look up all these different markets that it deals in and try to say, okay, well, is the population going the right direction? Or is there enough job growth? What's local crime look like? Are there good schools nearby? Where's the path of development progress for the city? So are we buying where all the values are going up? I'm spending hours and hours and hours doing this. And I have to somehow take that information and communicate it in an easy way that someone could go out and make a multi-million-dollar transaction based off of. So going through that process, teaching myself the things that I needed to learn to be able to serve someone who has so much experience in the industry like the Paris's did, I started to see that there was a problem. That there was no way to easily, affordably, and tactically get all the information you need all in one place in a way that's you can go and take action off what you're seeing. And so I said, I can fix that. And so we started fixing it. And that is what became Bright Investor, which is the ultimate tool for what I call real estate market research. And that is what, so that's the software company that I've been able to build over the last 2 years is Bright Investor to help real estate investors do that market research easier, faster, more affordably, put all of that in one place.
Yeah. It's amazing, bro. It's incredible, bro. When, I spent lots of time combing through it and you showed me, a bunch of stuff and it's incredible what you put together. And I love how it started because that's how the best businesses start. You see a problem and most people just see the problem, but you think differently, dude. You think bigger and you think bigger because you're like, hey, there's a problem. I don't know a solution. Let me just create it or let me go find it.
Absolutely.
Powerful.
It's insanely powerful. Because when I met my co-founder, Drew McCluskey, I was summertime right after I graduated college. And I've been working on, I want to buy a house in St. Louis, but I don't really know anything about the area I'm going to buy in St. Louis, right? And so I'd started playing around with the idea of real estate and mapping information. And as I got started in multifamily, that issue kept coming up. And I'm like, well, I was tinkering with that a while ago. But here in the industry working on it, this is an actual problem people have. And then I met Drew off a random Facebook comment, by the way. He just finished an internship in Hawaii for 6 months, posted online and wanted to meet other young professionals. I was one of 50 comments on that post, said, hey, love to connect with you. Sends me a DM on Facebook. And we had this weekly Zoom call about multifamily investing for about 6 weeks.
I love it.
At the end of that 6 weeks, I said, hey, I'm getting started in multifamily. I'm doing this thing. By the way, here's this idea I was toying around with real estate and mapping. And here's this problem I'm running into with multifamily investing. And I showed him the first mock-ups I'd made of Bright Investor. He looks at me on that Zoom call and says, Donato, you're not going to believe this. I'm working on the same thing.
Shut up.
He shared his screen and he had a mock-up of his own design trying to solve the same problem that he'd had.
Awesome. That's awesome.
In that second, we realized if you have that problem and I have that problem and these people have that problem, we have to do something with this.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 months later, we had hired our first team, raised our first seed capital. We were off to the races.
I love it, bro.
Yeah. And that's one Facebook comment got me to where we're at today.
That's so great, man. Did you meet him in the network or how did you?
He was this random real estate guy on Facebook who was doing real estate investing. Sweet. And I met him, and then as we worked through this process, was like, hey, I'm in this multifamily program. I'm doing this work. This is a problem that people are having. And we just got reinforced that by talking to people in the path and watching all the students go through it, I was able to just mine information. Like, hey, what's really hard for you guys about real estate? Find a good market. Okay, great. What are you trying to look for in that market? Okay, population growth. Go to Drew. Okay, write that down. And job growth. Okay, write that down.
So
and
good.
looking at rents. Okay, write that down. And I'm just mining information because people want to tell you the problem they're having.
Yep.
All I have to do is sit down, shut up, and listen. And they gave me the entire company that we needed to go create. I said, great. Well, here's what people want. Hey, Drew, can we do this? And we worked it out. And that's all it's taken over the last 2 years is just listening to people who are in this program and many other real estate investors tell us what they need. And then Drew and I sit and look at each other and go, we can fix that.
Yes. Bro, that same principle applies with any business.
Mm-hmm.
It's any business. It is listening intently and then having the confidence to go create, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you started that. So let's do some time. So you started in the mentorship program when of 2021?
About fall 2021.
Fall 2021. And then did your first deal?
In like February, March of 2022.
February, March 2022. So right before peak partnership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right around there. Absolutely.
Sweet. So right before peak partnership. And then you launched Bright Investor.
So that whole time over 2021, all of 2022, we were building Bright Investor.
Okay.
Getting feedback, developing the initial framework of what it was going to look like. It took a lot of man hours to just be able to do the research to find out what people want.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until 7 months ago in March of 2023 that we actually released it to the public for the very first time.
Gosh, I didn't realize that it was that. I thought it was, okay, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely not a short endeavor in any moment. And there was a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys to get there. Absolutely.
What was the biggest challenge doing that? We talked about the biggest challenge on the multifamily side, but or the beginning stages, but what was the biggest challenge building out that side of things?
Oh, when we were first getting started, I remember inspiring the vision in people who weren't in the company. So when we first started, we raised capital to be able to do it. We brought in investors to build this whole company. And we would go into investor calls and say, hey, we had this idea. This is all the market research we're doing about market research. And we want to raise money for this. You're a big real estate investor. We'd love to work with you on it. And getting hit with a no and a no and a no and a no until we get a yes, which is amazing. And about a year ago at this point, actually, I had my biggest challenge. We had 3 weeks worth of expenses in the account. I had this meeting with this former chief information officer of a big company that had sold for billions of dollars. And I was hoping that he was going to invest in, help make the company successful. And I sat down with him, walked him through what we wanted to do, all the information we were learning about. And he looked at me at dinner. He said, Donato, I think it's a great product. I think it's a great idea. And you're probably going to be a billionaire someday. And I'm saying no. Yeah. You can hear in the background my heart breaking in that moment. That was such a emotional turmoil moment for me.
Yeah.
Where I had something I believed in so much and other people were believing in. And to have to face reality that this person believes in it, but it's not personal to me. It's about them. There are things going on in his life, the projects he has to do that this is great for him, but it's not the right time. And I have to be okay with that and stand back up.
Huge takeaway for everybody right there.
Yes.
Huge takeaway. It's not about you. He believes in you. They believe in the product. It's about them. And that is huge, bro. I think about raising capital on the multifamily side. Very similar, right? Where you're raising somebody who's saying, no, you're so passionate about this deal. Somebody says, no, it has nothing to do about you. It's something about them, their situation. Absolutely. You have to, regardless, stand back up.
Yes, you had to stand back up because a week later, I was at a Renaissance fair in St. Louis, getting my Viking and fantasy on. It was a great time. And I remember having this massive stress ball in my stomach, just what are we gonna do? And vividly, I'm walking down this pathway. It's covered in mulch, got tents set up on either side of me. And while the sun's shining down through the trees, it was almost an epiphany because I stopped and said, well, what if I just figure it out? And it seems simple, but I literally said out loud to a bunch of strangers, why is this crazy guy talking? What if I just figure it out? And in my head decided that no, there is a solution for this. It's just my job to find it. Not that there isn't a solution anywhere and it's time to give up. No.
Yeah.
There is an answer. I can figure it out and I'm going to choose to figure it out because why not?
Yeah.
And a week later, we got an investment that carried the company through. That got us to our next investment and our next investment. And it's actually the parishes from MFM saw the vision and believed in us and became some.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they've invested with us in Bright Investor.
That's awesome.
And they were the people who said, Donato, we believe in you. And Adam Parrish specifically blessed us with his support. And since then, we've been able to go on to double in revenue and double in revenue and double in revenue and get to where we are today.
That's awesome, bro. I did not know. That's so great, man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pitch it to us?
We did not. No, we did not pitch to you guys.
What the fuck, bro?
I should have come back,
bro.
Should have. Yeah, we can talk. We can talk later. We talk later.
Jeez, man. Got money looking to place, bro.
Oh, well, I got a pocket that's open to receive. Come on, we can talk about it.
I love it, man.
But it was through the network that I worked with here by showing that I was going to keep showing up for the hard parts in multifamily that made the connection with parishes to say that characteristic is carrying over here. And I see that. And it was the friendships that I made with them that ended up being something I could bring to Bright Investor to build this company that we're so proud of today.
Bro, I asked you what makes you different and you said discipline. I just want to make sure that doesn't go on deaf ears because those principles that you live by day in, day out, you think that people aren't recognizing them. They are. And the key is you got to realize and know that people are recognizing them. Like people aren't just going to tell you every day, great job for being so disciplined.
No.
It's not going to happen. But they're watching, they're seeing. And dude, a lot of the times that's like the test. You know what I mean? Anytime I hit a challenge, anytime I hit a struggle, doesn't mean it doesn't knock me on my ass because there's stuff that knocks me on my ass. But I have like literally wired myself to be like, this is a challenge.
Yep.
Let's go. Next, if I do this and I do this, and then I can, if I do this, what else can we do? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's that narrative. I love it, bro. Like you come into a network, you meet people you've never met before, but you show who you are day in, day out that leads to not just one business, but a whole other business that's a complementary business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of going through this whole journey from when I was a kid working on grades to going to multifamily to creating Bright Investor and having problems come up and trying to move forward. Kind of like one of those core tenets with discipline is asking why not instead of why. Like, why should I spend money to learn how to do real estate? Why not? Because if you don't, what's going to happen? You're going to say the same. No, why should I? Why should I, build a company that helps real estate investors invest anywhere in the nation with information all in one place? Why not?
Yep.
No, why should I work 12 hours to build a future for myself? Why not? Just asking why not instead, you're forcing yourself to come up with reasons to not do it as reasons, not to do as opposed to reasons to do it.
Yeah.
And psychologically, that just helps. It just works that way. So by asking, why not? You get so much further because now the default option is I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take action. I'm going to progress.
Yeah.
Instead of the default being I'm staying the same. Why not?
I love it, man.
It works.
Such a power. And it's simple. You're right. It's simple, but it's powerful and it works, man. It works.
It does.
And dude, you guys have now launched Bright Investor. You have tell me about the growth of Bright Investor.
Yeah. So
less than a year old.
Yeah. We've less than a year old. We've been out to the public for like 6-7 months now. When we launched, we had 6 data types and a whole lot of bugs. In 7 months, we released 9 new versions of the platform. We have grown to 21 data types, partnered with dozens of people in the real estate space. And last month was like, we just hit like one of our revenue figures for the first time. This month, we're on track to double that number.
Hey, that's awesome, bro.
We just hit that number. This month, we're going to double it, and then we're going to double it again. And it's just taking off because we are coming in as a solution that is easier, faster, more affordable, and easier to understand than anything else in the marketplace.
Yep.
So it has been a lot of moments where I don't know if this is going to work, and you keep moving forward anyways. And you ask, why wouldn't it work? If I get in front of more people and I talk to more people just like yourself, and I talk to more investors about their problems, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And by doing that, connecting with more individuals, we've been able to grow to thousands of users. We've been able to hit our revenue goals, and now we're going to be doubling our revenue goals and continuing moving forward. And we have a platform that people now, when they see it, they go, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I've been missing. And then they tell their friends about it. And we have folks super awesome about this. We're getting word of mouth marketing now.
Yeah.
Just the other day, we had a guy who does loans he has a whole page on social media, 137,000 followers. He posted about Bright Investor.
That's awesome.
He found it, signed up, immediately started making content about how Bright Investor helps him analyze deals in markets.
That's great, bro.
Then the next day, get another one. Woman who has 47 followers, just starting her plan, doing short-term rentals, doing education. She's using Bright Investor.
Yeah.
And they're posting about how it's helping make their journey easier. And they're just telling other people, this is what you've been missing. You can do this. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's amazing.
The best.
Oh, it's amazing. I get DMs from people who are saying, oh, Donato, I was on the verge of not doing real estate investing because there's too many hurdles, time hurdles, money hurdles. Working with your platform, it has reinvigorated me to keep moving.
Love it.
We had a guy whose company was spending thousands of dollars on market surveys, like $3,000 to $5,000 for one market, one time. Within first 6 weeks of using Bright Investor, they saved $30,000.
That's amazing.
I get that message and I'm like, oh, we're having an impact on people.
Yeah.
They're saving time, saving money, and they're spending more time with their family and friends, getting away from the computer, getting the answers they know they need, and they're off building the vision.
That's awesome, dude.
That is such a massive win for me because I get to see the actual impact of something that was once in my head and Drew's head with the support of so many great people start changing people's lives.
And the revenue goals will always be fun, but the impact goals are, dude, the impact is way more meaningful.
Absolutely.
Like revenue is revenue. Those are beautiful, but the impact is that nothing has more meaning than that, you know?
Absolutely.
So I love that they share it and they tell you that kind of stuff too.
I get DMs, and like you talked about earlier, where when you're going through the discipline and those hard moments, people are watching, they won't tell you. I've even gotten DMs from people who I used to like intern with in DC or where I went to college with, even elementary school. I just had this one like a week ago. Yeah. They shot me an Instagram DM saying, hey, Donato, I'm seeing the stuff you're doing at these companies. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
People I haven't talked to in 5 to 15 years. And I didn't know they were watching, but there's so many people out there who are willing to support and want to see you do great things that they just reach out to you and let you know that, hey, you're doing great, even when you're not expecting it. That was insane to me.
It's awesome, dude. That's a takeaway, I believe, in actual for everybody as well, that when you feel something, say something. Because you don't know how that's going to impact. And I'll just tell you that along my journey, many days where it's like, what am I doing? Because it's hard work. And it's not necessarily work I have to do, but I'm passionate about it. There'll be days that like go to the office and be like, man, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden I'll get a letter that day or a message that day. And people have no idea how much that just lights you up.
Absolutely.
Keeps you going and moving forward. It's meaningful. So we just partnered, man, with Bright Investor.
You did. Yes, we did.
This has been a fun transition for me because see you come through the program, crush, close deal, now create a solution for our students. And it wasn't an easy close. We weren't an easy close for you.
No, you were not.
Yeah.
You made me work for it.
Yeah.
I had to set meetings.
Vetted. And every time we met, you had a new version, bro.
Yeah.
Every time you met, it's crazy to me. We're like, hey, man, I know but this is the new version. Let me walk you through. I'm like, let's go. So it's exciting. We haven't even, officially hasn't launched even yet.
The partnership, no. Partnership hasn't even launched.
It will launch before this airs though.
Okay, yeah.
So
yes.
That's a commitment.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
No, we have all the pieces dialed in. We just need to do the official launch.
Yep,
and I'm excited for it, bro.
Yeah, and actually we had a new version drop on Monday.
I love it.
Another version coming out. Another one will come out probably next week.
See, always updating. It, man. That's progress. That's growth.
Absolutely.
So all y'all out there, to get access to it, which you need to go get access to it, and we obviously have discounts here at MFM. Bright Investor /MFM, right?
Absolutely. Okay, going to brightinvestor.com/MFM brings you to the website to go sign up. And I got a nice big picture of you on there so you know you're in the right place.
Yeah, I need to go. And there we go.
And all the people who sign up through MFM get an extended 14-day free trial to be able to check the platform out and exclusive discounts specific to the MFM community.
Love it, man. I'm excited for more. Tons of the community already use it, but I'm excited for more to get access to it, bro.
100%. Did you know that some of our first ever users of Bright Investor or MFM students.
No, I believe it for sure, man. That's the beauty of the network. It's the tight connected. I completely believe that. Yeah.
There's some of our earliest supporters and some of our biggest super users on the platform who've gone to their own meetups, are people who I met in Multifamily Mindset, came on to Bright Investor, and now they're running around telling the world about us.
Sick, dude. I love it.
All about connection.
Power of the network, bro. And the power of value. Dude, you're a stud. Like, I
you,
know that everybody here found massive, massive value. So you better share. Go check out the software for sure. But you also better share the episode. What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Yeah, people can reach out to me on Instagram at Donato_Callahan, or they can shoot me an email at donato@brightinvestor.com.
Sweet. I'll put those in the description as well.
Absolutely.
Dude, you're an inspiration, my man. I love hearing you talk. I told y'all when we first started this that you're going to be wanting to put your seatbelt on and wealth of knowledge, and that my dude here does not come off as a 24-year-old. Like, sharp, wealth of knowledge, old soul too, dude. You're an old soul.
Absolutely, man. You're going to find me in my good spot. I'm going to be having a nice pipe. I'm going to have a nice glass of Merlot. I'm going to the Jazz STL, listen to some jazz music. That's where you can find me, man. I can tell you, that's where I like to be.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited to come see you there, bro.
Absolutely. Come on out. I'll get you all set up.
Done. I'll hold you to it.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay, any last bits of advice as we wrap it up? Anybody out there that's listening to this, doubting their ability to do new things and to pursue big things and to think bigger, what's the advice you would give them?
Absolutely. I can tell in three things. And as a leader, I want to hear your input on this as well. But if you're starting anything and you're going to be a leader in your business, in your family, whatever, you got to do three things. You need to take responsibility. You need to give credit to the people who help you. Then get out of the way and allow help and delegate.
Yes.
You do those three things. You take absolute responsibility, give credit, you get out of your own way, delegate. You can do anything.
Anything. Bro, I love it. 100%. So you want my feedback on it? That is exactly it, man. The responsibility, I love that you led with that. Like, you have to own the outcome.
Yes.
You have to own the outcome.
Yes.
Whatever it is. When things go good, you pass that credit down. When things go bad, you own it.
You swallow that. That's on me.
it.
That's on me. If something goes wrong with Bright Investor, it's like, you know what? How could I have, as a leader, made this more clear? How could I have helped enunciate the problem better? How could I have communicated what our needs were better in a way so that we could have achieved this problem?
Yeah.
And on that point, when there's a problem, the problem isn't with you. The problem's on the table. And I'm inviting you to the table to come sit down and see how we can fix it.
Love it.
I'm not blaming you. I'm saying this situation, we got to take care of it.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
How can we figure it out? So you got to take utmost responsibility for those things. When things are going great, my team did amazing.
Yeah.
Your effort, your input, your outcome, your hours built this. Not me. I'm just the guy out there that people see my face.
Yep.
You guys are the ones that are doing this.
Fact.
And then the fact that I got to get out of the way. I have to let people do the jobs that they do really well. And as much as it hurts, recognize I'm not the best at everything.
Yeah.
I'm not the best person for each job. And I have to allow people to own the things that they're amazing at.
Totally.
And by doing those things, you're able to just dominate. And you see people grow.
Yeah.
People realize that you're not going to critique their every flaw. People realize that they can trust you. It is a safe environment to fall, brush off your knees and get back up.
Growth.
It's a safe environment for growth. And so we have people who are able to come in, they take responsibility. And by doing that, taking responsibility and giving credit, the right people around you also start going, you know what? Actually, let me take that responsibility.
That's exactly it.
They come in and they're saying, you know what? No, it's not your fault. I messed up here, but let's see how we can find the solution.
Yep.
Because they know that this is an environment where growth and the growing pains are welcomed as opposed to shunned.
100%. Bro, I love it, man. Listen, I am not the most talented person, but I am one of the best at surrounding myself with talented people. Like, that's it. And when I found that hack and I understood that it doesn't always need to be here, nor should it, but you do literally the same things you just said, bro, massive growth. Matt, you're a stud. I am excited to see where your journey continues to take you. I'm excited to launch and partner with you at Bright Investor. I'm pumped about it, man. And grateful for all the actions that you've taken to put yourself in a position to provide the value that you provide for our network, bro. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. And I am pumped for the MFM Bright Investor Partnership. It's going to be amazing. And a lot of students are going to have a lot of value come out of it. And it's the absolute pleasure to be able to see that the things I've done in my life, the choices I've made, have been able to help other people in their journey, if only just a little bit easier.
I love it, man. Absolutely. And all y'all go share this episode because I know you found value from it. And also, live always with aloha. Peace.